Beaten up Tom. The relationship in the diagram is best described as many going to 1 here, many going to 1 there, many going to 1 there. We have any 1 going to many, and I see no splits here. So many to 1, many to 1. C, many to 1. So we talked about this already, which of the diagram below best describes a function. You can't have 1. You can't have a 1 to many situation. See how this split in here? That's a no-no for a function. So nah. Anytime you see that split, nah, you can't have that. Can you have this meeting up there? Yes, you could have that, but this already had a split, so it disqualified. Right? Now, if you had a situation where like boop, bap, 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 and all of them went down to that one, that's still a function. That's still a function. But in this case, this is the function here, D. So best illustrates a function. Now the reason I'm speeding through this is because speeding, we did these already. But I come into the new ones just now, right? Woi. Writing up all the solutions to this is going to be a task tonight. The function fx. I mean, like, I need the answer sheet. Right now, I had to put in the answer sheet in the book now. The functions fx multiplies the sum of the variable x and 3 by 2. What is the inverse of the function? So, the function f of x multiplies the sum of the variable. Alright, so this was the little tricky one. I think I put this on the this is a hell of a tricky question. Multiplies the sum of the variable x and 3. Now it's saying that it's multiplying the sum. So in other words, it's x plus 3 being multiplied by 2. Right? So it's actually 2 by that. So the last thing you do is multiply by 2. So the first thing you're going to do is divide by 2. Alright, you can think of it like this. Y is equal to 2. Interchange variables, you have the x divided by 2. Bring across the 6. Minus 6. But when you put it over 2, (2x) bring across the 2. Sorry, I will bring across the 2 already. Minus 3. Minus 3 equal. Alright, let me not do it in my mind in case anybody is struggling to follow along with that logic. But the answer looking like this one, looking like a B. Alright, so the initial function is f of x is equal to 2 times the sum of x plus 3. This is like 2x plus 6 if you want, right? And you know we can say let it be equal to y. You interchange variables. This is how you find the inverse. 2y plus 6, you bring across the stuff. Get rid of that 2 as well. So this is the inverse function here. This one, B. Right? Once again, we did this on video already. So everybody here who here from, so now we have already. So we did this one already on the live one. Let's see what's in here when we do this. If f of x is equal to x cubed minus 5, then f of negative 3, and we'll be going over the entire book before exams, right? To prime you up. So make sure and get your hand on the book, do it yourself, and then come through in the live session. X cubed minus 5, it's an ebook, so you download it online. And you can work with it on your laptop, tablet, phone, etc., etc., etc. If I could get it in hard copy before exams too, that would be great. But from Monday, it will be available ebook. X cubed minus 5, then f. Oh, we're going to substitute negative 3 in there, so the trick was to know that negative 3 to the power of 3 minus 5 is actually negative 27. And take away an additional 5, you end up with D. So 4D. People then pelting out answers here, brisk. And the thing I like with this is that these are original questions straight from the mind of Kerwin. So when people pelting out answers here, it's not like they're watching any past paper or any kind of thing. I know that it's just speedy and it's make me feel nice and fuzzy inside. Alright, 4 ordered pairs. We're starting to go into the new things here now. I think we did 5 questions. So number 6 is new. How much people in the live? Don't forget to press like. the reason why it takes so long to come back on is because I see more police brutality, stupidness going on here. And I was like, this is real annoying though, boy. Wait. Anyhow, forget that. For ordered pairs for f of x are that if f of x is equal to y, then y is equal to. So basically, they're asking to predict which equation is giving you this piece of scenario here. So it's a kind of plug and play vibes. Plug and play, meaning you take the x number, plug it in, and see if you get the y number. Best way to do it. Negative 3 inside here. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1. So it does work, but you need to see if it works with at least 2 points. If it works with 2 points, good to go. So let me bring it to 2 inside here. 2 plus, wait now. The first one is the answer. Let's try again. 9 going inside here. 9 plus 4 is 13. Kind of easy question is this, boy. Cohen, better than this next time. Make it hard. Make them go down all the way here and get the answer. Alright, but the answer is actually A. 5A. Yeah, boy. Can you send the book in Jamaica? It will be online. Somebody in China can buy it. So once you have access to a credit card, really easy to buy, right? Get somebody who have a credit card, who have PayPal. Simple. The thing goes. Can you say would the answers be in the book as well, where you can correct yourself if you're wrong? Of course. What's a book without answers? All I tell students, answers is minor thing. You want to beat out yourself, go through everything, check online, check everywhere, and then come in with answers. Don't just, alright, I try a thing, let me see what the answers say. You don't learn much that way. A man trying to train and watch this live here. Yes. Jarrell, power to you, brother, power to you. Number 6, which of the following represents the graph of a function? You see this? That is foolishness. It can't have vertical lines here. No vertical lines here. You know, if you have vertical lines, it's saying that one is splitting and going to many. What I tell you about one who's splitting and going to many? That's a no-no. You can have horizontal lines though. That's a function. But you see them verticals, that's a problem. Or if you see this, CX, you like to bring x's and them kind of thing. If you see an x on top of an x like that, 2 points on top of each other, that's failure, not a function. If you see x's like this, that's a function. If you see x's going up a line, there's a linear function. But anytime you see x's on top of each other, failure. Failure. Not a function. So which of the following graphs a function? A. 6A, right? Everybody say A. Let's get the other questions on the road. I have so much work to do. I just oh, wow. One of my techniques, I'm about to release one of the techniques I use, is to always my iPad freeze and lock itself. You're trying to hack me out here, boy. Stop it. Yeah, I'm about to release one of my techniques. Is, you know, just before exams, everybody's getting a kind of frenzy state. Well, most people. Some people, they say, you know what? Burn down. And forget about it and go and do the, you know, I feel that already. It make no sense trying now. But some people who is starting to see it as well, whole night study, them kind of thing. I try to almost like mentally trick myself into that stage regularly. Because at that stage, you feel the amount of efficient work is accomplished in such a short space of time. That is a stage I want to be in continually. So I always deadline myself. Deadline myself for things. Deadline myself for objectives. You know what I mean? So it's always like a hype. It's always like a mission to finish this, a mission to complete this book by then, a mission to finish, to get these students by then, a mission to help this amount of students to get to this. It's always a vibe. And that's the adventure vibe. The line AB cuts the y-axis at the point. You call this question 3 marks, yo. Now, some people just kind of mix it up, eh? X come first. So, like where it cuts the x-axis, right? The point where it cuts the x-axis is 2, 0. 0 on the y, 2 on the x. A point up here would be like 3, 1. But that's not what they're asking you for. They're asking you for where it cut the y-axis. So it cuts the y-axis at 0 because it's 0 on the x, but negative 1 on the y. So that answer is B. Let me see if anybody get that wrong. 7B all the way. Oh gosh, Marian Horton. You say A. You said A. Don't worry, we out here to learn. So 7 is that. Make sure you know how to plot. Why is this thing resetting every time? It's real suspect. Everything gets suspicious these days. Let's get 8 and 9. I feel it just had too much things open on this iPad. Them offspring of mine, offspring, you catch it? Offspring. Open is open a million tabs by all the games on this iPad. I'm gonna start to close off thing in the meanwhile here. Why so there? Hit me the answer to them questions. YouTube, Number Blocks, Minion Rush, Piano Tiles, App Store, MyTom, GarageBand, Stack the States, Netflix, Meet the Alpha Blocks, Slither.io, and Star Games. It's the corona. Offspring. Daddy jokes. B, 8, C. Some people saying B, some people saying C. C. Most people saying C. Equation of the line which passes through the point 0,5 and has a gradient. Gradient 4, 0,5, you know you're using your y minus y1. Wait. Where's this point? 0,5? What do you mean by 0,5? 0 on the x and 5 on the y? 0 on the x and 5 on the y mean A. Y-intercept is 5. That's all we need to know. Y-intercept is 5. 0 on the x, 5 on the y. Y-intercept is 5. So the answer is C. Now, if it wasn't like a 0 something point, yeah, I use this little magic equation that I show you earlier. Y minus y1 is equal to, that's an equal sign, equal to m into x minus x1. Y minus 5 is equal to 4 into x minus 0. Play around with that, and you can see you'll end up with 4x. But when you bring across the 5, it'll turn positive, so you'll end up with the same thing. Notice you only substitute the y1 and the x1 here as x1, y1 there. The range, feel like these questions come before already. Feel like I do this. You're missing the news. There's a new CAPE timetable on EC. I read that, but as I said, I need to hear something solid and permanent, man. I mean, that's CXC's website, but CXC gave me a timetable that was wrong already on the website. Fool me once, fool me twice. 9 is D. Alright, let's see what they say for 9. Alright, you cube up this, you're going to get that. You cube up this, you're going to get that. Because remember, when you cube something, is go back negative. Negative 2 by negative 2 is negative 4 multiplied by, is 4. Negative and a negative is positive. But when you multiply by one more negative 2, it will go back negative 8. So that's why we get that. So the answer is D. All the rest now making sense. Remember, when you cube and you multiply by itself continually. Right? So 9 is indeed D. Well done. We are real brilliant people out here, boy. But is it that we did those already? I feel like I write these questions recently. When I check it, it's something like 60 something pages and thing I write in 2 short weeks. And it's just one question. That is performance. Which of the following pairs of lines are parallel? And which of the following pair of lines are perpendicular? I think I'll leave out a sign here. Both of them supposed to have the same thing. I think I'll leave out a sign there. Yeah, I left out a sign there. Both of them supposed to be the same. It's the same answers I use. I'm going to fix that one time. So it's supposed to have a negative by the E. I don't know if that's allowed the answer, if there's a distraction. I never say that's the answer, people. Where do I have this? Operation, ping. relation functions, statistics. Again, answers for both of the questions. What I'm doing right now is just negative. Really going on here, man. Why that's still in there? As I'm fixing to do on this. Negative. Right, so you get answers. One thing, let me just click no borders here, no borders, no borders. Alright, so I hope you're behaving yourself, you know. So, which are the following lines are parallel? Parallel lines have equal gradient. So I've seen 3 here, but negative 3 here, that can work. I've seen 2.5 here, that can work. That's the gradient, right? Remember y equals to mx plus c. The number in front of x is the gradient when it's in this, you know, let's see what I'm looking for. Integral kind of form. Y bring across this 4, you'll get a quarter, so that's okay. So it had to be this one, half. When I bring across the 2, because remember I can't have this number in front of the y, so I need to bring them across it. We don't really care what happening here. We don't really care. So this is going to be 2 over there, so it's like a half. So the answer is D. You have a half here and you have a half here. Parallel lines have equal gradient. Wow, we had a good bit of wrong answers there, man. 10, C, C, B, all kind of wrong answers take place there. So this is a while since I put a question on Instagram. I just so the answer for 10 was actually D. Watch out this question making the Instagram wrongs. Which of the following pairs, so 10 is the Instagram question for now. Which of the following pairs of lines are parallel? Well, it's this. Perpendicular, well, it's this, right? Perpendicular lines, the gradients must be equal. Like M2, the set gradient will be the negative reciprocal. M1. So like if one gradient is negative 4, like in this case, when I bring across this 4, it will turn to 1 over 4. So this is like the first gradient, M1. And if I have negative 1 over negative 4, the second gradient will have to be a quarter. So just so A is the answer. But you see, there are 2 tricks in this question. You don't understand how I get D. Alright, time to go into deep explanation. Deep explanation now. It's kind of browsing the explanation. This is something called coordinate geometry, right? So y is equal to mx plus c is the general form of the equation of a line. If I put something like y is equal to 4x plus 2, this tells me that the gradient of this line is 4, and it also tells me that the intercept, the y-intercept of this line is 2. So I can expect this line to look something like this. It has a positive gradient of like 4, and it cuts the y-axis at 2. And the gradient here is m equal 4. This is not a point, that's the gradient. That's how much it changes in y in relation to x. That's how steep it is. It's 4 steep, right? So, now if I have another line like, let's pretend, we in pretend land now, I have another line like y is equal to 4x plus, no, we don't say plus, let's say negative 3. Let's not use negative 3, let's use negative 1. So let's try and draw this line. This line has the same gradient, so it will look the same kind of way, but it will cut at a different spot. It will cut at negative 1, it will cut down here. So let me just put this line in purple to match his writing. So negative 1, not looking parallelish. Negative 1 there. So what we saying, man? What we're really saying out here? We're saying that if lines have the same gradients, they are parallel. Is that what we are saying? Yes. Same gradient, parallel. Same gradient, parallel. That's easy. What could happen is that they could bring it like this. They could bring it a little tricky for you. They could say like 2y is equal to x, and they have done this in the past. And then they'll say y is equal to half x plus, let me say, 10, right? These 2 lines are parallel, but it looking like they have different gradients. But do they really? Do they really now? This is not in the form y equal mx plus c. We need to get this 2 to move from that y. And how do we do that? We divide everything by 2. The whole equation is get divided by 2. This 2 will cancel. This will get divided by 2. X over 2 is the same as half x, right? And this will get divided by 2. We really care about the intercept right now. So half, half, these lines are parallel. Alright, Kevin. Yeah, you have to rearrange it in the form. How many questions today? About 20 something, I think. How much money? Lord Father. How much questions I really put out here, boy? 19. Have to rearrange in time. Right. So it gets even more tricky when you start to talk perpendicular lines. Lines that do each other this. They don't need to be perpendicular. It can be like this kind of perpendicular, skewed kind of way, but it's still perpendicular. I mean twisted, but it's still skewed is a different way. Anyhow, so you have these two lines perpendicular. The legend says that if lines are perpendicular to each other, the gradients will be related via this little scenario here. So if you have a line that the gradient is 3, you want the gradient that's perpendicular to this, the gradient will be 1 over 3 and switch the sign. If you had a line that was negative, was 4, was negative 5, the new gradient of the perpendicular line will be negative 1 over, switch the sign now, so 1/5. One more, if you had a line whose gradient was negative 2/3, flip that, because it's the reciprocal, 3 over 2, and switch the sign. So this is the gradient of the perpendicular line. And it's the same technique we're looking for in the question. We're looking now to see, we have to bring across some, because this don't have a y by itself. So we brought across the 4, and when we brought across the 4, we realized that lo and behold, we end up with a quarter x. This is that. And since you have a quarter here, and you have negative 4 here, that's perpendicular lines. Why is in the chat if you understand that? If you don't, watch it over and over. Go and look up coordinate geometry gradient. I have some classes on that. Browse through that. If you were part of the private class, you could go in the 2-hour class where we talked about coordinate geometry. More than 2 hours. And reviewed that. So, God is love. It's coming for your exam. Next question. Next question is an easy. So we're on 12 and we're going to 19. Good speed. Good pace. Answer there. Yes, you can prove it perpendicular, Tyrese, if you say m1 times m2 is equal to negative 1. But that, whatever float your boat if you do it like that, some teachers just teach it so. If you don't understand what I say, just forget it. Once you understand what I say before, you can don't have to up your head. 12D. The gradient of a vertical line. So people say in D, is that your final answer? If you have a vertical line, alright. If you have a line that's horizontal, the gradient is 0. It's not moving. Gradient is 0. If it starts to move like straight 45, the gradient really interesting enough. Very interesting. Let me show you why it's interesting. You see up to 45 degrees here, you're still dealing with fractional gradients. The gradient here is 1. Because you go across 1, you go up 1. 45 degrees, right? Now, do you know that all the numbers in the world, from 1 till infinity, if you're me, although infinity is not a good thing to use here, but 1 till the biggest number you can make would be in the gradients between here. Like this might be 2, this might be 3, 4, 5, 6, and it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So like a gradient of 1 million might be somewhere, there, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's interesting to think about that, but we don't really care. What if you have a line who's just went and go all the way straight like this? You know what this causing? This causing division by 0. Because remember, let's do a kind of x2, y2 seen here, and a x1, y1 seen here. But the thing is, x2 and y2 is the same thing. So when you say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, the most famous formula in coordinate geometry, everybody know the formula of a gradient. When you say x2 minus x1, you're saying 0 because x2 and x1 is the same thing. And you're going to end up divided by 0, which is a naught. That's a naughtiness. That's a piece of naughtiness. We don't condone that. So x2 minus x1 will end up being 0. And division by 0 is undefined. So we can take undefined. We can take undefined. Let me move forward. So vertical lines, we don't say the gradient is infinite. Say it's undefined, something a little more. Alright, let's get the answer for 13. Yes, I'm going to be coming back and working on the book with you all. So you all get the book. You all can saturate yourself in it for 2 weeks. Whilst I do some other subjects like math, add maths, chem, that kind of thing. Physics, pure math, unit 1. And 2-3 weeks I come back in and we run through the whole book in some serious gangster sessions. Maybe we could try and be the longest live stream I've ever done, which was 8 hours and some change. Maybe not. Maybe not. Some things are meant to just stay right where they are. Which of the following group of linear inequations or inequalities best indicate the programming for the shaded region below? Alright, let me see what kind of answers I get for 13. If it was a horizontal line, horizontal gradient is 0. Somebody just come in and see that one because I see that a few times. I'm right here. Why not pure unit 2? Because I don't know how much pure unit 2 people have on the channel now. I only started including Cape unit 1 subjects. So maybe a little pure unit 2 could slip into, who knows. So you're blocking. Yes, I am indeed blocking. Why did you look here? You gain some manners over the few days there. One thing I want to make sure is that as Caribbean students, you know, you represent yourself good and you have your right manners and things. I mean, even in school, I'm a pretty easygoing teacher. At least with Form 3s, 4s, and 5s. So with Form 1s and Form 2s, them is go and tell the parent that says a real strict teacher and thing. But you get them Form 1s an inch and them is take the whole kilometer, the whole mile. But I'm normally, and you know, everybody, yes, a real cool thing, but still, you must maintain a level of respect and, you know, love and manners. Anyhow, which of the following group of linear equations? So most people say D, but we have some sprinkling of C. So let me see who is correct. That was actually very irregular for me. Which of the following group of linear equations best indicate the programming for the shaded region? Alright, so this is how this is work. You see this line here? You'll see this line here. Most people say D. Well, D is anyhow. Yeah. Let me just talk a little quick thing here. This line has no gradient, but it have an equation. The equation on this line is x equal, if this is A, x equal A. If that was 2, x equal 2. That's the equation of this line. If you had a line up here that was, let me say, it cut at 3, the equation of this line is y is equal to 3. Because all along that line, y is equal to 3. Now, if you have a line, these are common lines for linear, and you could go and write it down, write this down. Linear, L-I-N-E-A-R-A, programming, P-R-O-G, alright, forget it. programming, linear programming, right? Look up that on YouTube, type Cohen Spring and Exeter, and you'll get the CXT lesson on that. You need to understand that because it could swing on you in multiple choice in a very simple way, and if you can't know it, you will go and write D, and you're not supposed to be writing D, right? So this line is y is equal to 3, this line is x is equal to 2. If you want x is less than 2, x is less than 2, less than or equal to 2, you're shading here. If you want x is more than or equal to 2, you're shading here. Wherever. If you want x is less than 2, then this line needs to be dashed or dotted, and then you're shading here. Dotted means you're not including the 2. Dashed means you're not including. Don't go and pay dotted if you had to do it and writing it out, right? Dashed. You're not including the 2. Now, this is a 2-hour class kind of lesson here. So this is just a reminder. These are some common lines. Now we've not 2-hour class. This could take whole week to teach students. Like if they're coming from a fully situation, you know what I mean? A fully. If you're coming from a fully situation, a whole week to just teach linear programming, and you might still need a little refreshers. So if you see in a line, let me not go into that line. Let me talk about this next line too, because this is a line that is tested. I will never have that. This line here, yo, y is equal to x. That drilling and thing going on. What I'm drilling? I am beginning to lose my temper. I am beginning to lose my temper. Alright, so y is equal to x is a line here. This line has to go like this. So in this line, x is like 3 and y is like 3. Now we have a shop in the front and people doing some work on it. So I'm going. Alright, so they're good, they're good. You just have 2 more. People only on 9 fix fat. No, they just doing some work in front there, but you just have like 2 more screws to drill, so that should be just fixing some drills. So you have to pour through a hole in the wall. I think he done that thing, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, so in this case, this is the next line called y is equal to x, right? You should know this line, that kind of line that going up there. So you talk about these kind of lines, this kind of line. There's a next line. Oh, by the way, if the line doing like this, is probably like y is equal to 2x, but it's still passing through the origin now, so you don't have like a plus anything. It's plus 0, so you can forget about that. So, I have a whole video on this, so let me not take too long on this. This line here is a special kind of line. If you see this going from 10 to 10, this comes a lot in linear programming, which you all wouldn't have the pleasure of doing in all its glory since you're doing paper 1. This kind of line is called the x plus y equal to something here. And that's the 10. This one here, x plus y equal to something, right? So x plus y equal to 10. So x plus y equal to whatever. Why? Because anywhere along this line, like if you come here and you do so boop bap, you realize that 5 plus 5 is 10. If you come here and you do boop bap, you realize 6 plus 4 is 10. It's 6 on the x and 4. So anywhere along that line, the x coordinate and the y coordinate adding together will give you 10. And then press like on the video, Dave. Don't forget to turn off the live chat. Press like, come back on. That's how you pay fees in this class. What am I talking about? I was trying to use some of these references I've seen in this chat and I never know what it means. So I don't repeat anything until I know what it means. Singly, I'm saying thing here and I see myself on the news. X plus y equal to 5 is this line. So less than because it's underneath. So x plus y is less than or equal to 5. So you're talking about this guy here. And what these things here mean? What these things here mean? It just means that it's a positive number. It more than x. That's this. The line x is equal to 0 is something. What is the line x is equal to 0? That is something that will come. What is the line x is equal to 0? Lo and behold, that is the y-axis. Raise my pause, all kind of thing. I feel that energy in the air. I feel that x is equal to 0 is the y-axis. Why is that? Because this is like the line x equal to 1, x equal to 2, x equal to 3. If you come back here, x equal to 0 is the y-axis. And the line y is equal to 0 is the x-axis. So you're trying to say it above the y-axis and it above the x-axis. So go and check my video on linear programming if you didn't understand this question. If you were saying D, you must need a little more revision and that. Peace be in advance, blessings, center. No, I know what it is, but I don't know what are they using it to mean, you know? Because it's looking kind of out of context-ish, you know? Let's get the next questions, 14 and 15. Nearly finish. Even if I was going in hot and sweaty, to rough up drill man. Drill man like 2 times my size. Drill man. So I walk outside. Drill man. I live in drill man. He say, yeah, just have two more to go. I say, you got 2 more to go. Cool. It look like he finished it too. I think I hear some drilling in the background. But I see you have a big drill so and you have a small drill. Yeah, and the shopman say like you're doing some live videos. So out here famous. It does taste good though. Yes, I know that it have a video on YouTube with people. Is either YouTube or Facebook with somebody trying to make that dish. It's a little hard to make. There's some tricks in making it. Yes, the puns. What is the answer for 13? The answer for 13 was C. Right? I thought we was good on that. What's the answer for 14 and 15? Now we get some answers. Are they holding on real chatting that thing, boy? How much people from Guyana here? How much people in the youth life? If you're from Guyana, we even flag the let me see how much people from Guyana. Find the Guyana pussy getting real strong out here. The contingent 14. And let's see in 14, right? I find the answers kinda maybe I have it. Hey, you're supposed to know 14 one time, 186 people in your life. Don't forget to press like people. Yeah, 155 likes, that's unreasonable. (14a) mosquito, what is this? Come on. 14, the graph of fx is equal to x minus 3. So this is in the form ax plus h squared plus k or whatever. That's what we do, h and k. Little rusty, but you know, whatever. So the minimum point, the minimum value occurs at the additive inverse to this number. So if it's negative 3, that would be 3. So it's one out of these two. And yes, take this one just so A is the answer. So 14 is E. Those who are shy to say it is E. So the minimum value occurs when, this is how it works. The minimum value will occur when that is at minimum. So the only way x minus 3 to be squared could be minimum is when that turns to 0. Because you're squaring it, it can't go under 0. So to make this 0, you have to make x is equal to 3. So 3 take away 3 is squared, 0, 0 squared, 0 squared. So that's when the minimum point will occur. And you know it's a minimum because you're not seeing any negative or anything lying outside there, right? So 0 squared, remember the coefficient of the x squared term, if it's positive, it's a minimum, meaning it's going like this. I have lots of videos on these topics, so you can always go back and check completing the square. This topic is under the completing the square umbrella, quadratics. Jamaica, America is inside the dance. So yeah, so 3, negative 4 is the answer. If you have any questions, then I ask some specific questions. If g of x is equal to that, then g squared. So 2 really tough questions. I think these are the 2 toughest questions based on the answers. I've not seen much answers. I've seen Ren holding only 4, Jelani holding only 4. Once it's a chicken curry in the comments, Version, Jared. So only the real top dogs putting answers out here. So what is this kind of g squared thing about? That just means GG, not Gary Griffith. Oh shucks, I say his name. Anyway, I think I had to say it 3 times for him to come. So GG, 3, G of G, 3. So what this means? It means you do this and then you do is like a kind of cannibalizing kind of situation going on there. It's like x plus 2 becomes the new x and then you add 2 to that. Understand? You understand what I'm saying here? This is called composite functions. This topic is composite functions. Now when we're doing these papers, I can't teach each topic like a whole class because we will never finish. And functions is one of them that have some deep roots, you know what I mean? You need to understand graphs, you need to understand directed numbers, you need to understand algebra, you need to understand transposition, substitution, relating, relations, that kind of substitution, I said that already. You need to understand those things to understand this one thing. So I can't really teach everything because I feeling like it has some people who may not understand everything, but I have videos for that on YouTube. So just take it in now and you can go and check it out if you're not 200. Or if you have a little question that you want to ask, feel free. So what I'm saying is that GG of x means you do g of x and then you do it again to itself. So g of x was x plus 2 and you think of this as the x now and you add on an x2 to it. So in other words, it's really x plus 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. So it's like you do g of 3, so 3 plus 2 is 5, and then you do it again. So 5 plus 2 is 7. So B is the answer. Why is in the chat if you understand that? Let me see how much people grasp that. It was a little tricky concept, but it could touch down for your exam, and if it does, you'll be ready. Ready like Freddy. Alright, I'm gonna take this part first. So this is a topic called variation that I'm about to do here. This comes as well in your multiple choice, and it usually comes in a manner like how I'm about to show you here. This letter is E. 193 people. I wonder if you can break the 200. I mean, hi, good day. Oh, I'm not selling any maths textbook hand in hand, and it will be an ebook. So, but we'll see. Yeah. Text me now. Right now on YouTube live. You wanna say hello to the people? Oh, you know on YouTube and you're calling me? I should hang up one time. later. Rip headphone user. Sorry about that. I had this phone right here. I should pay it about here so then. Incoming call from Big G. Yeah, someone call about the book. Everybody only calling about the book. Only the book will be available online. Sorry about that headphone, people. Sorry about that. I feel sinners plan these calls to plug the book. That would be some dread marketing. Tell my wife, call me outside. She should have say hello to you all. This person so brave. I say on a live video, she say yes, I know. So you're watching me right now and you're calling me. That's one of these students from my class. Use the information to answer questions 16 and 17. X is 8, Y is 1. X is 4, Y is 2. X is 2, Y has to go back to... Should it go back to 8? Oh, they didn't ask you anything about A yet. Maybe not 8, maybe 4. Anyhow, which of the following best describes the variation Y and X? Y is equal to 8X. That ain't feeling right at all. You know, I can watch the answer and kind of vibes it, right? How you get these? This is inversely proportional. So inversely is Y is equal to K over X. Understand? K is the constant of proportionality. So K is a solid number. So the only thing that resembles that looking like this, but we have to be sure. So let me check. Now you can, like in the paper 2, they'll ask you to find the value of K. And to find the value of K, you substitute one of the points involved. Yeah, real self-admin. So back in Bassa, of course. Of course. Y is equal to, so yeah, but we don't need to find the value of K in this multiple choice. We just need to check it and see if it works in. So like if I put Y is 1 here, because Y is 1, and I put X is 8 here, because I say X is 8, 8 over 8 is 1, so it works. You understand what I'm saying? It's like a substituting in this to see if it's working. Let's try the next one. Y is 2. You have that 8 on top, and you put 4 for X. So I substitute 2 and the 4. 4 into 8 is 2, so it's working. Is it working? It's working. Is it working? It's working. So yes, the answer is B. Let's get the last part of this question. If this question comes for your exam, please mash it up. It's come. Please mash it up. Sometimes it will be inversely proportional, sometimes it will be directly proportional. So take a little review if you don't know the difference between inverse and directly. Directly means instead of putting Y is equal to K on X, you'll put straight up Y is equal to KX. So you'll get some situation like that maybe, right? And paste. I'll copy something. Excuse me, bring this here. This is number 17. I just squeeze anything right. People saying Hala Madrid, Spanish saying that. Spanish, you know, long I want to block you for saying them kind of. Bassa, of course. Nicola Thompson, what's up? I love your teaching. Blessings. So X always the denominator. In this case, for inversely proportional, there will always be a case. When you say inversely proportional, this is the symbol is used for proportionality, right? So, or in variation. Y is proportional to 1 over X. There's an inverse, in Gilman, start back up. Gilman. Y is proportional to 1 over X. So if you want to get rid of this sign and use an equal sign here, right? Y is equal to K over X. You catch that vibe? So, I hope I wasn't blocking and not seeing that. I'm not seeing my screen right now. Y is equal to K over X, right? So cool. English, no, I don't teach English. We don't do languages and we don't do 17 is C. What is the value of A? Yes, it is C. Because if you put it in this situation which we had, we got this situation, right? Y is equal to 8 over X. Y is equal to 8 over X. And we're saying X, we're trying to figure out what the value of Y is. Right? So 8 divided by 2. Had to be 4, right? Because you're putting this 2 here, because 2 is x. You put in the 2 there and you just figure out the y. That's how this works. If this question come for exam, destroy it. If you're first time you're seeing this question deceptive. If it's the first time you're seeing this, you probably understand everything I do. But believe me when I tell you, it's going to come for the exam and you would not be able to do it. Believe me on that. Take that to the bank. The only way you'll know you can do this is by going and practice variation questions from your textbook, or go on YouTube, get some questions and practice it for sure. So you know for sure that you can do it. Let me get on to the last few questions now. 18 and 19. Oh shucks. After 18 and 19, there are 2 more questions. Sorry about that. So these are the kind of questions that will pop in functions based on my expert decoding skills of Christmas is gone. Here's another style of question. This uses a bit of set notation to explain domains, ranges. You need to be comfortable with this. Nobody say you need to be a star where this is concerned, but exhibit, it's loading. I get the warning from YouTube. Good thing we are the last 4 questions. I know I say 19, but it's really 21. D says Ren. Jill man hit the Wi-Fi cable. He like it now. Well, let's come up with these weird ideas from what inequality is shown in number line? Alright, so it under 2, but it over -1. What is saying? 18D or C? D or C? Let me go with the D. Ren said D. Let me see what happens. Let me just circle it yet. Ren said it must be greater than -1 or equal to, and yeah, so it's D. Now this one making it look nice, but this isn't making sense. It not less than. You gotta watch. This sign is in the wrong direction, and this is a real trap here, boy. That just feeling good for that, but it's wrong. This sign is saying the 1 is less than the x, which is correct. X is -1. X is greater than it. You need to watch the pointy side. The pointy side is the small side, and this side saying this side is the greater side. So x is greater than that. Or some people just think of it like the L, less than. So this is less than -1. In this situation, saying -1 is more than x, which means x would have had to be lying on this side of the -1, and it's not. So the answer is D. X is indeed more than -1, but at the same time, it's less than 2. Now, the reason we're not using this one is because this one doesn't have the equal to. Now, if it's like this, you're not going to see this circle dark. You'll see the circle open. I was going to put the circle open, but then I realized on Microsoft Word it would take me some time to do that. So, dark circle, sweet. That was legitimate. The reason. Alright, so the circle would be open if it's like this, but it will be shaded in if it has the equal sign as a part of it. 19, you'll get C for 19. Now 19 is a little different. 19 is saying it's less than the -1, at the same time it's more than the 0. So let's see. And they'll use union, or they won't use intersect. They use this and that in taking place. This or that could be one of the answers, right? Because it's 2 separate ranges. It's 2 separate range of values, but they are both part of the solution set. So X, which one are they saying for 19C? It's stick again. Why people putting that loading symbol? 19C. X is less than or equal to -1. Yes. and x is more than or equal to 0. Yes. Well done. So that's the answer there. Yes, we're going to do some pure math unit 1, Kali music. We'll do some pure math. Whoa, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of messages, Kali. TK end up in detention. Alright, so the answer is C for this one. Hopefully you're good there. Let's get the last 2 questions and we'll be done. Last 2 questions are on a little bit of the topics that we covered already, but it's just that these came, this kind of topics come, so I want to make sure that you're covered in from all directions. Which of the following sets is represented by the relation subtongue any man, which man? So we didn't answers for 20 and 21. A says someone. Farhan. Oh, I seen Farhan. 3 a.m. That's the timing in there right now. We get a pack down there. Yeah, some people are doing something in the background there that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. 20 A. Some people saying B. Some people saying D. A, B, D. You know, kind of mix things for 20. Which are you? So x squared plus 4. So we get a question similar to this already. X squared plus 4, but the 0 now. So all of these good. X squared, 1 squared plus 4. So only these 2 good now. Because like 1 plus 4. And let's check and see what 2 squared is 4, 4 plus 4. So the only one now we cannot for all is E. So it's 4 a.m. now, alright. Now I don't know any live English teachers. This guy from there was a guy from Guyana named Jermaine Hatton. He does English B and English A, but I don't know if he live these days. But he gets active around exam time. If a quadratic is written in the Jermaine Hatton, you can look him up on YouTube. Axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is negative B. X is equal to negative B. So the axis of symmetry is this. Right? Because remember we said the x value would be the additive inverse of that B or H or whatever you put here, whether it's H or K or H. Well, the K goes here sometimes. H, so negative B would be the x coordinate of the minimum point. So that's actually we use x is equal to that as the axis of symmetry. So x equal to negative B is the axis of symmetry right along that parabola there. Because this is like, well, you don't need that line. This is like negative B, C, or negative H, K, depending on what form they write it in. Right? Sometimes they put A, x plus H to be squared plus K. So, yeah, that's the minimum point. So if this is the minimum point, the axis of symmetry is x is equal to negative H or x is equal to negative B. Why is in the chat if you understand that Ali Massina saying how, but that's a while ago. I don't know if you understand it. No. If you don't, it's a biggish topic. It's called Completing the Square. And I have a video on it on YouTube. You could go and watch through the entire video at top speed. And you go walk out that star. The last coordinate is supposed to be 3, 13. Did I put 3, 12? That's good eyes there, man. 3 squared. 9, yeah, it's supposed to be 13, so thanks, I can fix any answers. 3, 13. I guess it was the best answer. No, well, This, yeah, it was the best answer actually. 3-13. Thank you for that piece of tidbit there. Always help me to proofread some things in the book here, so you'll get a book with 0 errors. I need to put out no second edition before July. Explain error in 20. No. Kevin, are you losing your mind? X is equal to negative b. Yeah, that's correct. Oh, it's still talking about this? Yeah. I just, what happened is that I initially had 3 here, but for some reason I wanted to change it to 4. So I just forget to change this 12 to 13. So don't let that hot up your head too much. It's 13 now in the book. Don't get too hyped for that. Alright, darling. So that's it for we day. For today, see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow it might be the longest session. Maybe not. It's just vectors and matrices. And maybe a little bit of trigs. Vectors and matrices is not much as the shortest topic in your... let me just get the marking system. Number theory and computation, 6 questions. Consumer arithmetic, 8 questions. Sets, 6 questions. Measurement, 8 questions. Statistics, 6 questions. Algebra, 6 questions. Relations, functions, and graph, 8 questions. One of these, 8 out of these kind of questions come in that I just do here. Geometry and trigonometry, 8 more questions, and I do most of trigs and most of geometry already. And vectors and matrices is just 4 questions. Right? So, till we meet again, behave well yourself, make sure you're studying, make sure you're prepping. Tomorrow we'll finish up this. And book should be out, book will be out Monday. All the best. Somebody from Russia here. Why is Russia here? Alright, blessings. Till tomorrow.